hey, sorry, didn't see you there. Dan from Crafty Comics. Do you like to collect a little bit of everything like I do? Well, here, we make frames and displays for people like you and me. It's 99% UV protected. Everything can be customized online with different backings and border colors. And for the listeners of Creators Outlet, you can save 5% with promo code CO5. We can't wait to CO5 what you display.
And there we are.
Creators Outlet with our Crafty Comics sponsor, and Matt and Steph from INSYMMETRY
Creations.
There we go. LLC.
That's right.
I remember the letters.
Hey, that was a good tag teamwork there, man. We just did the tag. I tagged you back in. We're good.
Boom. So you guys have been up to quite a bit. Brand new series. You're fulfilling Misfits Clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And Steph has been accepted into a special nom de plume of female movie reviewers.
Have, yeah.
The letters of which escape me. I got as far as LLC.
It's okay. It's a long name, but it's okay.
It's the OAFFC. I forget what it stands for. What's that stand for, Steph?
Online Association of Female Film Critics.
That's right. See, I was testing you. I forgot.
Yeah.
Don't fear. It's not just certain types of movies, because Steph writes for Fangoria.
I do, yeah. Normally, I mean, I tend to review and talk about films that are more on the horror realm, but sometimes not always. Sometimes they're more dramatic, more sci-fi, more, it just depends on what I'm saying.
So, are you just going to be sharing your reviews, or are they going to be put out on a specific site?
So normally what I do is I write for several sites. It just kind of depends on what each site sends me. For Fangoria, I tend to write more like list type articles or op-eds. For Creepy Kingdom, Horror Buzz, typically what they'll do is they'll send me screeners. They get a ton every month. They have, every filmmaker is sending them whatever screener. And so they kind of divide them out amongst their reviewers or whatever. So, but there are times where, Matt and I, if I've seen a movie or if he's seen a movie, we might cover it in our blog of Destiny that we do from time to time, or we might do like little live streams. So it's kind of all over the place.
I think it's pretty cool. Steph is nearing 100 bylines for other sites. I mean, we could go and put movie reviews up all day long if we want to, but having Creepy Kingdom and Horror Geek Life and Fangoria have bylines that are on their sites, and she's right at the 100 bylines line right now. It's cool that there's finally an association. It's like, yep, what you do is legit. You're a legit reviewer. We're going to have you as a part of our association. So that's a pretty cool thing. I like it. I dig it.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah, I can't even get accepted for a press pass nowadays. So
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is I've applied for a lot of different online film critic associations, and like to be like a Rotten Tomatoes approved critic, however they consider it. So when you hear back on that for this year, so it's still possible. But the criteria can be really tough sometimes. So they're very picky and choosy about how many reviews you do, and what types, and from what websites, and where they're going, and how many people are reading them. So yeah, it can be tough sometimes. So I'm just glad that this one accepted me, and hopefully there will be many more to come afterwards.
very good. And how did the Misfits Clubhouse turn out?
It actually turned out well. I mean, we went into it knowing that, crap, I literally had some of them in here, but I took them out of the room. But we went into the campaign knowing that the type of title that it was going to be a little more difficult to be able to fund on Kickstarter. The support was actually really good for it. we ended up, the original version that was supposed to go out through distribution was 80 pages. This version ended up being 100 pages. We ended up writing a story during the campaign. Like we got about halfway through the Kickstarter campaign and wrote another quick story to put in there. So it ended up being 100 pages, 11 stories. People really loved the campaign video. We just went as ridiculous and over the top and stupid as we could, because normally it's death metal and extreme metal and like, you know, extreme orchestra kind of like, you know, stuff like that. But for Misfits Clubhouse, it's like, dude, let's just have fun. And like, there was even a spot, we were 5 minutes away from sending the book off to print. And Steph was taking one last quick look. I'm like, hey, just double check these last couple of pages. And we got to this one page and she was like, oh, she's like, I would have been okay with you putting this in there. I'm like, as soon as she said it, I'm like, hold on. So when we first were concepting it, we wanted to have some poses for the artist to understand what we're going to do. So Steph's like, I can go do this. And she took a whole set of poses where she's doing stuff like this and sent them over to the artist.
It's very animated because Misfits is a very animated story. So and
we
the characters,
actually,
you know,
we pulled a few of those out and actually got them onto our behind the scenes page. So we threw that into the book at the very last second, because if it's behind the scenes, you want to see behind the scenes stuff. So pretty happy with that. We are about halfway through the physical fulfillment right now as far as getting the packages together, which makes us happy because next weekend we both have release parties. I've got it in Winter Springs, Florida at Flashpoint Comics and Games. Steph is at her Barnes & Noble in Visalia, California. So we have our signing, our release party coast to coast for Misfits next week, which we're both pretty excited about.
To give Matt a hard time because he was complaining about the heat, but we'll run up and down a soccer field all summer long.
Well, you want to tell them about your AC situation last week?
I mean, I didn't have AC. I did not have AC last weekend, and it was a thing where it went out like late Friday night into Saturday morning, and they're like, we can't come out till Monday. And it's like, okay. But, you know, I live in Central California, like the desert, and last weekend was like 105, 104, which isn't even as hot as we get, but it was tough. Are we still there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I kind of was like, well, I just have to deal with it. But it was like 90 degrees in my place, like one night when I went to bed. And so I'm like, yeah, this is a little tough. But you know, what can you do? You're sort of at the mercy of the elements and the resources that you have. So I was like, okay, all right, this is gonna be a really long weekend. So, but it's fixed. I'm good now.
Yeah, luckily one of her friends brought
giant
over
chest freezer and just kind of slept in it with the lid slightly popped open.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, and I'm normally somebody that's always cold. I'm never usually hot, and I was having like ice packs on me. Yeah, it was a whole thing. So
yeah, her friends brought over a portable AC for a couple days.
Yeah, and even then
it was 90. And here's the thing. I'm down with running up and down the soccer field. Doesn't mean I like it when it's super hot, but when you're out there, you at least know, hey, I'm in soccer gear. I'm running around. I'm doing something. But when you're sitting in your own house and you're like, it's over 90 degrees and it's stuffy and you're like, I can't escape this heat. Like, you've probably seen those memes that are like, Floridians aren't afraid of hurricanes. We're afraid of the AC going out because of hurricanes.
It was rough.
And I can tell you that the longest 15 hours of my life was probably when Hurricane Irma knocked the power out at my house at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and we didn't get it back till 10:30 at night. That was the longest month of my life that lasted 16 hours. I mean, yeah.
It's the way it goes.
So we've got a brand new series here, and it's spinning off of I Am QIDO with a Q, but
yes,
nobody said English was easy. Tatsumi
Yes. Tatsumi the Serpent Mistress. We are pumped up about this series. It's the first time that we have a true female lead in a story. We've heard some stuff back from other people, and they're like, really glad to see you've got a story-driven, character-based driven story with an attractive female that doesn't have to be just about the TNA and things like that. That it's, if anybody's seen or read the stuff that we do, we're very story-driven and really, really big about making sure the characters are developed. And Tatsumi, we're super, super psyched to be able to have something where we've had females in stories before that are a part of ensembles, secondary characters to a male lead, but having her be the one in a male-dominated pirate society, coming off of seeing the vampiric Dark Conquestors and Soul Rippers destroy her empire. It was fun to be able to take this Onabageisha, this female warrior, and put her in with a pirate crew. It's been a fun exercise so far. What do you think, Steph?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep, it's been a blast. So we think that people that have enjoyed Heirs or any of our other titles will enjoy this as well.
You thought of right away, it made me think of Billette out of the Robert E. Howard universe, who was the pirate queen of the Black Coast.
That's cool. I've never heard of that, but that's actually really neat because we love taking characters and putting them in an environment that they should not have been in the first place, and seeing how they would react to that. And that's definitely what Tatsumi is. I don't know if you want to play the video. The video is not going to get you kicked on YouTube because it's all music from us. And it's only 90 seconds long, but it will help tell a part of the story, a part of the backstory about what's going on with Tatsumi.
Here we go.
So hope you dug that video there, man. We were talking before we went on that we both had a little bit of computer issues beforehand. I had my computer issues, and I had 3 days to get the music written and the video made for that. So I felt like only having about 72 hours. I think it came out all right. What do you think there, William?
Yeah. Of course, the other thing we spoke of beforehand is because now my microphone is in my new headset. I can't hear anything, so I'll have to go back after the show and re-listen to it again. I watched it yesterday.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that you said that you don't have any.
I don't have any audio because it kind of like mutes the microphone. So I hear something that sounds like it's out of a Star Trek episode from the 60s, squealing squeaking and making funny noises in the backgrounds, but that's about it.
Weird.
Weird, wacky stuff. So
yeah,
I see I've flipped through the campaign over like the last couple of days, and then I saw the announcement for the brand new thing of wooden covers.
Yeah. We got a friend of ours that's also in comics, Sarah White, that we've been collabing with her, and really like the wooden covers that came out. They're a little bit down from where you're at on the campaign. If you scroll down just slightly, I think we put the wooden cover. There you go. So they're aspen wood, about an 1/8 inch. And so the one on the right is just regular wood with the regular etching in there. The red one and the black one are actually painted wood. And then the emblems and such are burned into the covers, so that way you still have the etching, but you have the etching on something that looks nice, like a nice piece of art. So in the campaign, you can get them as an attached cover, just like a metal cover on an issue, or you can get it just as like wall art. You don't have to have it attached to a comic. And we do that because there are sometimes people are like, I just want it because it looks cool. I want to stick it on my wall. I mean, I would put that on my wall. I think.
Oh yeah, they look freaking cool.
I've gotten a couple of laser etched wooden plaques from other campaigns, and the last one I got is actually a recreation of one of their trade paperback covers.
That's pretty cool.
And it came out amazing. The camera doesn't do it any justice, but it just came out. I go, that's awesome. So now anytime they have something, I always pledge that tier because it's like, it's basically cheaper than a Big Mac. So
cheaper than a Big Mac, huh? Or Big Mac's $80 in your place?
Like 15. I usually just skip it and go to the store and buy some ground beef and make them myself. They're better.
Well, we really tried to make sure that for this campaign, that with Tatsumi being a new series, with it being a new entry into the market for us, even though Tatsumi does spin off of I Am QIDO, where she was a secondary character, yes, you could go there and get more of a backstory to her, and especially the Dark Konquestors and Soul Rippers. With it being a new series, we wanted to make sure that we had some new good merch that was going to be able to really help establish her in the scene. So there's the wooden covers, we've got the custom leather work, we've got the baby serpent keychain, we've got the Soul Ripper skull pouch, and then we've got the Side Stalker's pirate hat, all handcrafted, handmade leather from our buddies down at GB Leatherworks. So we have those in there. We also have shirts and socks. We're well known for doing socks. Tatsumi, we have the Water Mistress socks. We have the Fire Mistress socks based on 2 of our covers. We've got shirts for those as well. We brought back our glow-in-the-dark Soul Ripper shirt. So if you're somebody that wants merch and you're somebody that wants cool stuff that you can get in campaigns, we also have poker chips in this one too. If you're somebody that wants cool merch, we think that you don't have to look any farther than our campaign to find some kind of merch that you are going to dig.
Get a full-blown pirate hat, which makes me just want to raise a tankard.
That sounds good to me.
It's just water, but
Yeah, same here. So that's our cover A. That's the Savage Warrior. So that is from our main art team of Alessandro Ventura and Alan Emmanuel. And that just shows her right off the bat. She's, somehow she's there with this pirate crew on the ship. And she's not exactly too thrilled with the fact that she is, in what her mind is, she is a captive on the ship. And this is at the point in the story where she doesn't realize, she doesn't have any reason to think anything different. So she has beaten the ever-loving crap out of them.
Not a happy camper. This cover is sick.
Yeah, that is the Fire Mistress cover. I'll talk about this and I'll let Steph talk about the next one. So the Fire Mistress cover is by a local artist named Chris Hirschberger, guy that I do a lot of different shows with around here. And we've talked about collabing from time to time and just never really worked out until we got to this campaign. He does a lot of Magic the Gathering token cards. He does a lot of his own custom art for those. He does fine art in the area. So to be able to get somebody like him that does this kind of style of art, we are very fortunate. We do have a shirt that's got that on there as well. And you can see that at the top where the sword and her flames are, you can see that it pretty much extends out past her. We made sure on the shirt that fire and that sword goes all the way up to the very top. So you see the whole thing. So I'm going to let Steph talk about cover C. Steph, take that one away.
So cover C is by our sister duo, Chess and Gwen, who are local to my city. Got to know them. They are manga creators, a sister duo that is a writer and artist. And they've done how many covers for us now? I can never remember.
I've lost track. I think 7, but maybe more, maybe less, but some number that's greater than.
Somewhere around that realm. They've done several covers for us right now. They've got their own manga series called The Bohemian Trials, which they have traveled around. Matt was here in February, and we were able to do like a dual signing in my area, which was really great. Awesome, fun. But this is, Gwen is an incredible artist. And we knew this was going to be right up her alley since they do manga work. And so this cover was kind of like a no-brainer for us. But yeah, so they do a lot of work for us. They've got their own series, which is amazing. And it's great to see how successful they're becoming. And yeah, we've got a lot of merch surrounding this particular cover as well. And then that's our sketch cover. So if you are somebody who loves to buy sketch covers, and we do have those people. We do have people who will specifically buy the sketch cover and go and take it to, whether they're an artist themselves or they will, they'll just buy it and take it to a convention and find an artist and commission them to do it. We have had somebody who has done that and taking it to an artist who's done like our likenesses before, which is incredible. So it's fun. Like, it's always fun to do a sketch cover because you never know. It's like this wide spectrum of possibilities that people will do. Like, we've had a friend of ours who has gotten that before, and he's like, no, I want you guys to draw it. Matt and I are not artistic. That's why you have to pay people to draw stories for us. We're the writers. And so we've done like little like stick figures or whatever.
Yes, it was on a Whatnot show. Yeah, on a Whatnot show. It was crazy. They're like, will you guys?
Whatever they want.
Will you guys stick figure this for us on a Whatnot show? Like, dude, if that's what's going to make you buy it, yeah, sure.
So we like to include the sketch covers from time to time. Not every campaign, but a lot of campaigns we try to do. This one, it felt right.
I'm just imagining that the sketch cover that you did on the Whatnot show must have resembled the free sketch you get from Chuck Dixon if you buy one of his books signed off of eBay.
It was. I want to say it was our best work yet, but it wasn't.
I can tell you that. So when we did Heirs of Isildur, the Perilous Prospects 4, one of the stretch goals, if we got there, was that we would reveal some of the process art that we do for Heirs of Isildur. And our process art is pretty silly. The reason I say is because the main artist, Alessandro, is from Brazil. And there are sometimes we communicate very well, but there are some times that I might say something or I might use an American euphemism that doesn't translate well through Google Translate or anything. And so he's like, well, why don't you just do a quick sketch and show me what you want? Now, when he says a quick sketch, we're not talking like you would get from an artist at a convention. Oh, here's a little quick sketch. It is literally the worst, most right-handed third grader writing with their left hand, maybe can barely get a stick figure in there. I don't even try to do it good. I just take my mouse, I go into Photoshop, and I'm like, scribble, scrabble, scribble, scrabble, scribble, scrabble, and that's it. And yeah, so we had to unveil some of those, and we took it straight from the completely absurd stick figures that are done to the rough pencils, to the inks, to the colors, to the letters, so people could see how this absurd thing got this amazing art out of Alessandro. But when you get that as your final art on a sketch cover, that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
This makes me think of that meme. I have neither the time nor the crayons to explain this to you.
Pretty much, yeah.
So there you go. You see the two new pairs of socks. We tried to break this campaign down per item that's new, but then also made it where if you use the buttons to the left, or if somebody's like, oh, I see they've got socks, I see they've got shirts, I see they have poker chips, they can just use the little quick links on the left.
Yeah.
But so we tried to make sure that the images of the new items were the biggest in those graphics. And then also we put the smaller graphics are the ones that are also able to be added through the add-ons or might be in a tier here or there. So there's the two new pairs of socks we have. Then you come down there, there's the shirts. We've got, you can see the Fire Mistress shirt where the image goes all the way up to the top of the flames there. The Water Mistress shirt, the glow-in-the-dark Soul Ripper. And then we've got the shirt that I'm wearing. And then for Misfits Clubhouse, we did a Peace, Love, and Slothiness tie-dye shirt. All those things are available in the add-ons as well. And then,
Poker chips.
oh, yeah. So we've actually now done, as you can see, we've done 6 poker chips. This one, they don't make gold poker chips and silver poker chips. So we said we're going to get fool's gold, whereas yellow and gray. And so we have a Tatsumi based with the Tatsumi emblem on one chip, and we have the Soul Ripper head on the other chip. And then we also have in the add-ons 2 different poker chips from Tales from Nocturnia, the Bruce McTutherson chip from Misfits Clubhouse, and then the Heirs of Isildur 13 o'clock.
Get them while they last.
That's right. And then, as you know, we've got a ton of stuff that we've done. So Misfits Clubhouse, all the shenanigans so far. If you missed that campaign and you want to add on one of those books, they're there. Our collectible colored vinyl records, which I know William has one of those, are there. Tales from Nocturnia, the complete Legendary Saga Revisited, the relettered bonus content version. All of the covers for I Am QIDO. If you're somebody that wants to get the prequel and you want to get it physically, all the covers for I Am QIDO are available. And then we've got a laundry list of Heirs of Isildur that are in there as well. And there are some other things that don't really fit into a category, glow-in-the-dark guitar picks, Heirs of Isildur, fridge magnets. We have all those kind of things out there in our add-ons as well. And then you want to talk about these a little bit, Steph? Here's our, some of the leatherwork items that we have from GB.
We usually do leather work. We haven't done it for every campaign, but we've done it for a lot with our friends at GB Leatherworks. They are leatherworker friends of ours that we collaborate with a lot. And so in the past, they've done we call them baby dragon head keychains. And that's literally what they are. They're a keychain. And it's little tiny little dragon head that we did for Tales from Nocturnia. And we sell them at shows and they're very popular. And so this time around, we knew with Tatsumi, we wanted to do some type of leather work. And so we kind of brainstormed back and forth and came up with these, which are very similar but different. They've got their little tongues and they're adorable. I love them so much. I can't wait to have one for my own. But these are the baby serpent head keychains, and I just love them. I think that they are so good. I think that they knocked it out of the park, and I think people are going to love them. These are going to show well on our table at shows as well. And I know that we will do that at some point in time. With the shows.
The hammer and the anvil are not included.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You want to make sure that people know. I mean, there was a time that that Steph modeled one of the shirts on the campaign, and we had to put down Steph not included.
Yeah.
Sticker
Well,
on
it's
there.
funny
The
too
leatherwork was
because
included.
with these, we wanted to make sure, because you say keychain, and you may see the picture and you may have like kind of a different idea of the size of them, and they are absolutely keychain size. I mean, they're like, you know, like this big or so. But we wanted to make sure that people understood, because sometimes even we'll have people come up to the tables with we haven't debuted these at a table yet, but with the dragon keychains, people would be like, well, what are these? Like, what can you do with them? And it's like, yes, you do anything. We've had people that have come up and been like, during COVID times, people are like, I'm going to put my little like hand, you know, like personal sized hand sanitizer in it, like flip it upside down and put it inside there. We had someone that bought it for their bearded dragon to put in like its cage. We're like, okay, it's whatever you want to do with it. Some people just buy them and will put them on their bookcases. They don't even keep them as like a keychain. So it's really kind of like dependent on whatever you want to do with it, because they're little and they're cute and they're complete leather and amazing and handmade. And I promise you that if you're walking around, you have them on your keys or your belt loop, on your purse or whatever, people are going to be like, what the heck is that? Because they're not going to see them anywhere else, really.
There's all kinds of stuff like that offered. Cool. Well, once you're buying, you can do whatever you want with them.
That's exactly, right. And that's what we tell them. We're like, hey, it's whatever you want.
It's like everything else. Yes.
Yeah.
Then we've got our Soul Ripper skull pouch. So this is a takeoff on the regular variation that we have, which was the Heirs of Isildur 13 o'clock pouch. So on the Heirs of Isildur, it had the little emblem, the 13 o'clock emblem stamped on there. For this one, you've actually got the skull that is designed around it. These things open up really wide, as you can look and see to the far right. You see that you can fit about 100 poker chips in there without there being any issues. We've had people get these to go to Ren fairs to put their cell phones in, stuff like that. So, they're probably the most functional item that we've ever had at our table. And this and the baby dragon head keychains are by a long shot the best leatherwork sellers that we have. So to have a version designed around Tatsumi, we thought was the right thing to do.
If I see anybody that has some kind of pouch to sell, I actually want to get it and just bring it to a big show to make Rob Liefeld sign them. Because in different spots on the same page. So
I love it. Do it. Hey, I think that's a great idea.
He goes, you won't sign New Mutants 98 anymore, but will you sign this pouch from a completely different book?
I just now realizing as I look at it that it looks like it says Soul Skull Rippers pouch. Soul Rippers skull pouch. I got to read it up and down. So
this, then this, yes.
And then there's the pirate hat. One of the cool things they did here was when they took the picture, they again put the keychain in there so that way you could see the difference in size between the keychain and the pirate hat. One of the cool things that GB Leatherworks does for the pouches and the hats, you've got brown tones and black tones, but they also do something called eccentric craftsman, which means you can say, give me eccentric craftsman, and they might be like, I've got red snakeskin looking leather and I want to use it, and I'm going to make you a pirate hat that's got that and green stitching. And if you say eccentric craftsman, it's whatever the heck they feel like doing at the time. We've seen baby dragon head keychains they made that had like clear green plastic on it instead, like on the sides, so they're almost like see-through. They don't always go that crazy, but excuse me. Sorry.
Okay, Matt's just dying. It's all right. It's fine. No, it's fun because, and the fun thing is normally when people choose that tier, not always, but sometimes they know the GB guys. They've either bought stuff from them before or they've come out to a show. We've been together because we've done a lot of shows with them, and sometimes they're right next to us, or they might be like a few booths down. And so they know that these guys are crazy. So those are people that have like a lot of faith in them and their ability. They're just like, I just want something cool. Just give it to me. And so I love that. I love that about somebody that is like, you know what? I trust you guys. Give me something cool. And they always do come up with something cool because they're not going to do something. It's not like they're going to be like, it's not like some big like football player muscle bound guy's going to come up there like, we're going to give you hot pink with like daisies all over it. they you know, they tend to kind of gauge the person and go with that. So it's fun.
I've done that with artists at shows before. I'm like, can you do a sketch of my book?
Yeah.
Sure. What do you want?
Yeah.
Surprise me.
Very, very similar with the sketch cover, where you have to have a lot of faith in the artist. And usually the people that are picking that, people that pick the sketch covers, people that pick the eccentric craftsmen they want that. They want to be surprised. They want, you know, they trust the artist to do their thing. So it's fun. So yeah, we have the bundles there where you can get, you know, the hat, the new pouch, the keychain. You know, and honestly, if there is some sort of crazy combination that you want and you don't see it on our Kickstarter, you can message us and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I know this is true because I've done this.
Yeah. We're never gonna be like, no, sorry, we can't do that. We're not in the
No, we don't want to sell you anything.
Yeah. We're gonna hook you up.
Has never come out of their mouth.
No.
Well, that's the wooden covers that we went over earlier. Yeah, we're super stoked about those. We just debuted them yesterday. We hope that people will jump into the campaign and get their hands on these, even if they just get it as a wall hanger. I mean, crap's sake, it's June. People might start buying Christmas presents. I know that you might not know what Tatsumi the Serpent Mistress is, but we promise you're going to be digging this series, and this is going to be something you're going to want to get in on the ground floor, so to speak. You want to be able to say when you see your name in the credits that you were there from the very beginning, that you helped to push this thing up to the next level. We're only $423 away from our next stretch goal, which is actually a pretty cool thing. We try not to talk about what the stretch goal is until we get there, but it's a pretty freaking cool stretch goal.
Yeah.
And there you go. There's our stretches stuff. You want to go over these? What our backer kit incentives and our stretch goals are so far?
Let's see here. So we are going to do.
Or are you having a tough time seeing them?
I am.
Okay.
And I'm having that tough time seeing and hearing. So it's
okay.
Kind of like walking through a tunnel blind. So I'm doing my best. But we've got I think at 100 backers, we've got the Stabby Bunny sampler.
Yes. Yeah. We got the Stabby Bunny sampler there. So Richard's doing a part of Stabby Bunny and a part of Stabby Ever After #1 that he just did a campaign for. He's putting a new sampler together so that way, if you're new to the Stabby Bunny series, that you could get your hands on some of the coolest bunnies out there. There's a lot of people that do bunnies, but the Stabby Bunny is one of the best bunnies.
He is. He's kind of a psychotic little bunny, but that's why we love him. So we've got some other add-ons.
You see that we had the GB Leatherworks unlocked items. We had the wooden cover unlocked items. Those were secret things. Those were things that we knew. We didn't even publicize when those unlocks were because we think those are fun. Keep on backing. We might be able to show you guys something off new. 2 backers from now. We are literally only 2 backers away. At 130, we have a backer count incentive based on, doesn't matter if it's $1 backer or $1,000 backer, as long as you're in the campaign.
Number of backers that matters.
Get to 130, then we have a special digital incentive that we'll reveal then. Get to $423 from now, then we have another incentive that's going to be something we give back to all the physical backers. And then we've got some other things that could be in the works, but we got to get to those 130 and 4,200 as soon as we can.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully we do.
So, William, you're coming up on the sample pages. We want you to take a look at the sample pages, and you can tell us what you think.
I have to tell you, I have multiple thoughts on this right here. Probably because last night I discovered that movie that I watch a lot because it's free. Not only had Jaws 1 through 3, but a Shark Attack movie on it that followed it. So,
well, you know, it's almost the 50th anniversary of Jaws, so they're going to be hyping up the movies and all the shark stuff. It's almost the summer, so yeah, they're going to be.
Lost at Sea is not something that I would relish myself. As you can imagine, it's tough to swim in a 400-pound motorized wheelchair.
No.
I would think so. You need like magical wheels that, you know, can float or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
we would write it into a story if it was us.
I would need something like you know, like one of the Huck Finn riverboat paddles attached to the wheels, so I could at least hope that I might get to shore. It looks really good. The wrapped boots.
And we tried to make
Tatsumi that you see right there. That's our heroine as she's kind of like waking up on the boat, little confused, little out of it.
And one of the things we tried to do there, like you said, the wrapped boots and all that, was we tried to be logical. When you see Tatsumi in the end of I Am QIDO, she's in her battle gear. She's ready to go out there, and she has been fighting the Dark Conquestors and Soul Rippers. Then she's now on this boat out there lost at sea. She's not going to be out there in the boat in the sunlight wearing this big, heavy armored gear. So if you look, you can see she's got there's the pile of gear there by her right foot. But we're also not going to just strip her down just for the sake of being stripped down. As you can see on the next page, we kind of show where she has that other gear that, you know, she was at the end of I Am QIDO. She's in a waterfall. She kind of was there to be able to hide from the Dark Conquestors and Soul Rippers. She climbs down, and on the edge of the shore, she sees this fishing boat that's just there, and there's a sheet that's there and an oar that's there. And she's like, I'm going to take these. These are going to become my items, kind of like, you know, an adventure game. She goes out there into the boat, and at some point when she's in the boat, she crafts herself. She rips off a part of this sheet or blanket or whatever it is and makes herself a new top, makes herself some wraps for her arms. So we logically got her a way to be able to be in this outfit.
Crafts herself an outfit. CRAFTS. Because Matt said it at first, I was like,
trying not to touch that one. I'm like,
I was like,
she made a cloth diaper. Okay. Let's go with it.
He said it, and I thought, did I miss? Like, did I sleep through like a whole part of the story?
So I'm definitely going to need to go back because I 100% said crafts it. I definitely did not say she craps it because that definitely would be an entirely different series right there.
Not what we're into.
Tatsumi, the
your mind
mistress.
plays tricks on you, so I'm like,
I was like,
could have sworn he just said she crapped herself on the boat. Okay, I'm old. I get it.
Well, you know what though? If both of you guys both heard it, then maybe I did say it, didn't even realize it.
I don't know. But anyway,
if you did say it by accident, it'll probably be the most played short clip out of this whole.
Yeah,
well, I definitely can't wait to hear it. You know?
That's what people are going to concentrate on.
Or you know what? Let's just see what the closed caption decides when we watch it. Maybe the closed captions will say something completely different, but that'd be amazing.
And,
so anyway,
then she cracks her head on the boat.
There's a lot going on.
She craps her head. Yes, she craps her head.
There's a lot going on. Anyway, so yeah, so she wakes up. I love this page because we really wanted to encapsulate like when you're coming to and you're just kind of like, what is going on? And Alessandro, our artist, really delivered on that because we wanted to have that kind of like, you know, tingly feeling that you get when you're just waking up or coming to from being passed out. You have no idea what's going on. So we did a great job with that.
And imagine waking up. Imagine being someone who in your entire life, all you've ever seen are people from your own YAMARAN Empire. And then you've seen these horrible creatures that came in from the Dark Conquestors and the Soul Rippers. And now you wake up and all you see is this person's upside down head. And then you see 4 unfamiliar faces over top of you talking about they're going to take right good care of you. That's right, we will.
Yeah.
You have no idea what they're talking about. And then
when you're a female and you're all on your own, that could be taken a lot of different ways.
So yeah, Tatsumi's not about to take any chances after what she just witnessed.
Yeah.
So the next page goes along with the cover, and you see she's decided that it's time to start beating some ass.
Yep.
I love the reminiscent to Batman 66 sound effects.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. One of the things that's kind of neat about manga and working alongside Chess and Gwyn and what they do, some of the customary things that are done in manga that are different than in traditional Western comics is that in manga, a sound effect like, you know, we look for the onomatopoeias. We look for in comics, the way that a word sounds. So it's not like, you know, slap, it's like, you know, you want to have the sound of the slap. But in manga, they just say twist, you know, grab, something like that. So we're like, with where this is, we're like, okay, we're going to do a little bit of that as well. Because honestly, it's a heck of a lot easier to just say slap than it is to
really
go.
And try to come up with the noise. I mean, sometimes we have to Google and be like, what's the onomatopoeia for this? And so,
Yeah, we definitely wanted that reminiscent looking, you know, the big words in the background like that. We thought that just really helped to bring the page out.
Yeah.
Through sound effects.
Oh yeah. So that's as far as we went when it comes to the pages in the issue, because once you get past that page, the story goes a completely different direction than you would expect it to. One of the things that we did with this series, we're about to start working on actually putting the pieces together for issue 3 right now. Our artist right now is in the last third of issue 2. Like we're that far along in what's happening with it. That we wanted to make sure that this was a comic length series where with Heirs of Isildur, Tales from Nocturnia, I Am QIDO, the issues were all a lot longer. And we wanted to get this down to where it was just going to be, here's the comic. I know we're kind of working backwards from what a lot of other people do. Wanted to be a comic length size or comic size issue. And we wanted to make sure that while every issue carried along the larger story, that there was also set pieces that are going to be unique. I mean, you watch a TV show and you watch, like, say, a crime drama, and every episode is going to have things that happen and are resolved within that episode, but there's going to be a larger story arc as well. We wanted to make sure that we did the same thing in this. So the set pieces that are unique to issue 1 are only going to happen in issue 1. The set pieces in issue 2, we actually have a couple of them, are going to be unique to issue 2, but there's going to be the storyline that goes out. What we have set up for issue 3, that's going to be completely nuts. We try not to get too far out there because we want people to really be focused on the issue that's at hand. But when we say this is a series that's going to be going places, we can't wait to take people on this journey.
Oh, yeah.
Spinning off from I Am QIDO, going further. And
say that again. I think your mic is actually breaking up now a little bit.
Uh-oh. I like that you get to spin something off from I Am QIDO.
Yes.
and continue and delve further into that story. So, but it's a brand
we
new
were
story.
really excited to do that. It's funny too, because so many of our stories are spin-offs of another story or spin-off of a spinoff even really at this point. And it's not like we set out to do that. It's kind of been organic in a way. And so I think that Matt would agree that with Tatsumi, it was kind of an organic thing where we said, we really like this character and we want to hear more of her story. It was the same thing with Kido. Kido's a spinoff of Heirs. Tatsumi is a spinoff of Kido. But it's not like years ago we went, okay, there's going to be this grand plan of all of these, like this triangle of stories that we're going to do. It's just sort of how it ended up. And, you never know. Like, you never know where inspiration's going to hit, basically.
Yeah. Kido was supposed to be, the I Am QIDO story was supposed to just be a small little character backstory. In Heirs of Isildur, when you have a character that gets pulled through a portal, we try to give a little bit of their backstory, kind of like Lost would do. So you just get a little bit of understanding of what they were going through before they get brought into that environment. So we're like, yeah, Kido is probably just going to be this 10-page thing. And then as Steph and I started putting it together, we're like, yeah, there's a lot more meat on this bone. This is not a story that can be told in 10 pages. And it turned into the 80-page one-shot that it was. When we designed Kido, and once we finally got into that environment, we knew that somebody was going to survive. We knew that we were going to have another character that was going to survive so that we could write their story. And it was either going to be Tatsumi or her friend Mayu. And from the beginning, we thought it was going to be Tatsumi, but then we kind of went back and forth because we loved Mayu so much. And we thought that Mayu was such a great character. And it just got to a point where we knew Tatsumi, being the kind of like stalwart by the book, very much the Onobagation that she is, was going to be a better person to throw into this wild scenario than the wild, fun-loving Tatsumi as she was. We thought it was going to be better for Mayu to have the terrible stuff happen to her that did happen to her in I Am QIDO.
Even though now I have a slew of all these different characters you guys had to come up with and write bios for. I didn't want to write bios when I was playing, multiplayer video games.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to go in depth on all the character bios there, but we wanted it for somebody that's similarly across the campaign and might want to know a little bit more. For those people that are really into character-driven stories, there you go. We give you some info about the people that you're going to be seeing in this story and what they're all about. Just a little snippet. Enough to get you interested and want to read more.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure there was just enough so that way they all had their own, you could see they all had their own place in the story. Because we didn't want them to just be props. We didn't want them to just be cutouts. We always say we want to create characters you can relate to and universes you want to escape into. And if you don't have any information about the character, then how can you relate to them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you had Admiral Derringer Ascot. You have his right-hand man, Dmitry Montova, who's the next in command on the boat. Then we get into one of our favorite little characters there, which is Lydia Snake Arrow, who she is the second in command or the next in command on the boat, but she's more there because she's, there's a reason they call her the Snake Arrow, because she is slithery in their things that they go out there and they do in their conquests, their pillages and things like that. She knows how to get in and out of tough situations like that. So she is a character outside of Tatsumi that is probably the character that both Steph and I have gravitated towards the most, that we want to be able to explore her story as much as Tatsumi's as the secondary character to Tatsumi.
Ulysses.
Yeah, then you've got the big muscle on the ship, Ulysses Freeborn. And then you've got a character that is completely fictional, even though he looks exactly like one of our good friends. Warwick Settlebarrow.
Accidentally on purpose. I don't know what happened there.
100% did not try to get him to look like Harrison from GB Leatherworks, but he definitely looks like the doppelganger of Harrison from GB Leatherworks. It's so weird.
Accidentally on purpose.
Yeah, we definitely did not do that on purpose, which is hilarious.
Yeah, no, it just ended up that way, and we had a good laugh about it. So,
It'd be even funnier if he was cutting leather at some point.
oh, if only.
Then you've got the Lookout Marley Pendleton. We love having diverse, strong female characters in our stories, and Marley's definitely got a different kind of arc than Tatsumi or Lydia, so that makes it really fun there. And then last but no, then we have one other character, which is Motomari the Majutsushi. So in I Am QIDO, you have the Majutsushi, which are in Japanese, that means the magician or the conjurers. And part of that story was we thought that the three that were in the Yamaran Empire were the only ones. We find out that there's an evil Majutsushi that's with the Dark Conquestors. But now we also see that there is a magician that's out there that's a part of this other kingdom, that's a part of this other land. So who knows how many of these magicians might be around. But Motomari is actually a part of the ship crew, so that's a little bit of a tie-in. So that maybe is a little bit of familiarity for Tatsumi, because she's used to being around these Majutsushi in the Yamaran Empire. Now here's one on this boat. And then last but not least, we get into the Dark Conquestors and the Soul Rippers. And as we mentioned earlier, very right there in the middle, you see to the left, you see Cordelia Divina, which we know is one of your favorites. They're William with the Cordelia Divina cover. But then you get to see Dark Mayu. So Mayu, at the very end of I Am QIDO, was turned into a Dark Conquestor. Think about how a vampire or a zombie would turn someone into their kind. So she gets turned into a Dark Conquestor. So now you've got Tatsumi's best friend her whole life, who's now a part of this group that she has sworn to eliminate in its entirety from the face of the planet.
See where that might cause some bumps in the road.
That's exactly right. We can't wait to explore all of those different things, but you can only explore so many things in the first issue. But what we
leave a
explored,
little bit left for you to find out on your own if you get it.
What we explore in the first issue, we think is a very solid issue number 1. And we are so stoked about it. Like I said, we are 2 backers from that backer count stretch. We are $423 from the first stretch goal. And we hope we can finish this thing off strong and get Tatsumi's story started off as strong as it can before this campaign is over.
And there's 6 more days left. So
yep, we're
in the final stretches.
Yes, in the final stretch. We ran this one for 23 days. We actually like and would rather run our campaigns at 17 days right now. But just like with Misfits Clubhouse being the type of title it was, for Tatsumi being a new title like it is, we wanted to give it just a little bit more time so that way people that are new, we always say everything is always new to somebody. We wanted to make sure that people had a chance to be able to discover it in this sea of comics that are already out there in the industry. And then, the tiers, we try to make sure, because some people want to see it in the actual tier side. Some people want to see it in the middle. We have single issue tiers for everything. We've also got what's called the Fool's Gold Pack, which is just a single issue with one each of the poker chips. Then we get into where you can get all 4 covers, where you can get the digitals, where you can get the digital plus I Am QIDO. If you're somebody that wants I Am QIDO physically, which quite a few people in this campaign have, you can get a copy of Tatsumi and a copy of QIDO. And if you're watching this or listening to this, don't feel like you are bound to just the covers that are shown there. If you're like, hey, I want to do this, but I'd rather get the Fire Mistress cover B along with QIDO, or I want to get a Water Mistress, and then I want to get the Cordelia Divina cover from I Am QIDO, just reach out and let us know. We didn't want to put 8 million tiers. We already have a ton of tiers out there. Yeah. We needed to find a way to limit it just a little bit.
Anything, any combination that you want, or you have any questions, message us, because we are very responsive and we will get back to you. If it's the middle of the night, Might be a couple hours, but otherwise we will get back to you. We'll help you out. We'll get you hooked up with exactly what you want. So not to worry at all. We are in the business of wanting to give the people what they want. And if there's something on here that they don't see, then just let us know. We'll hook you up.
That's right. And then right there are the metal covers. So the reason we have the metal covers out of order is because cover AA and cover CC are the same thing that you get in the standard cover. But for the Fire Mistress cover, cover BB, it's the blackened version to where the entire background is blacked out. And the only thing you have is Tatsumi, the serpents, and the fire on the cover to really help it pop out. So that's the metal only exclusive version of that. Then we have some packages that are based on themes. You've got the wearable Water Mistress. So you get the cover, you get the Water Mistress shirt, the Water Mistress socks. You can get the Fire Mistress shirt, the Fire Mistress socks, the Fire Mistress shirt and socks, and the blackened metal cover, or you can get the Soul Ripper special. We have two different versions of that. You've got the Soul Ripper that's got the glow-in-the-dark shirt, the socks, the Cordelia Divina cover, and a copy of Tatsumi. Or we have the deluxe version that also includes one of these Soul Ripper pouches and a serpent keychain.
A little bit of everything for everyone. Gold pack.
Yep, Fool's Gold. Anytime you see Fool's Gold, that means you get the 2 poker chips in there from this campaign. We've got packs for if you want to get all the covers of Tatsumi and I Am QIDO, you can do that. We have a PDF pack that's got all 10 PDFs of all the different titles that we've done. And we've done more than 10 titles, but if it's something that's been condensed into a trade like Crossroads Conundrum or Tales from Nocturnia, you're only going to get the trade version of that. And then we have a pack that's got all 9 of the physicals that we still have. We have 9 of them that are still in print physically. You can go and get 1 copy of each of the stories that we have a physical issue for.
So, some of these trades are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages long.
That's right. 268 pages in Crossroads Conundrum, 164 in Tales from Nocturnia Revisited, and then Heirs of Isildur, even though they're not trades, they're still spine books that have got 44 to 56 pages in there. So I think that the PDF one is like 860 PDF pages of content that you can get your hands on in the massive collection completionist PDF pack. And then early birds were way past. Right now we're in the late bird section of the campaign. We need the late birds to come out and go pick up some stuff to help us push this thing. And then we have our creators section, the different color. We've talked about the cover artists and the Steph and myself as creators, Alan and Alessandro as the art team. We are super stoked, and we want to see you and you and you, and yeah, you over there didn't even know you wanted to be in here. We want to see you guys jump into this campaign because we know this is a title that you are going to love.
Yes.
Looks like a blast. It's right up my alley. Because it's got the sword play, the pirates, a little bit of the sorcery stuff.
Yep. That is what we're hoping for. We're hoping that it will appeal to a wide array of readers, as far as the action goes, as far as likable characters, as far as the swashbuckling aspect. We feel like there's something for everybody in it, and it's something that we get this a lot at shows. We don't get it as much when we're doing Kickstarters, but we get it a lot of shows where somebody comes up and they say, okay, my kid is, a middle reader or whatever. Is this appropriate for them? And while yes, there is some action elements that are a little violent, we don't go over the top. We're not gratuitous. So this is something that you can have, as Matt always likes to say, he says coffee table ready. So if you had it out on your coffee table and you have, a kid over at your house, whoever they may be, a friend's kid, nephew, your own kid, and they pick it up and they open it up, you're not gonna be like, oh my gosh, no, and rip it out of their hands. because you're afraid of what they're going to see. That's just who we are as creators, and that's who we always will be. So yeah, so it's you know it's for a wide range of readers.
It's weird that some creators are all about the blood and guts, and you guys are about the story.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We use what if a device is organically brought in, if in Tales from Nocturnia, there needed to be beheadings and stuff like
Yeah.
that because it's medieval. It's a set in a medieval world, and if you don't have that, then it's not being true to the story. And you're like, well, why are they, I don't even know what they would do that wouldn't be that. Why are they putting him in timeout? Instead of cutting your head off in a medieval kingdom.
Wouldn't be realistic.
So there's violence when it helps to push the story forward, and you don't need to be worried about, if there's swordplay and there's people getting killed and stuff like that, we have to be able to portray that, but it's done in a way that is going to push the story forward, not in a way that's just say we're going to do it just because we can. Because if you do it just because you can, you're probably not doing it to make the story be relevant, and that's just not the way we want to be.
That's just our first preference. Nothing wrong.
There's a fine line between splashy art and exquisite storytelling.
Wow, I can't talk. Story substance. That's what we like to say. Yeah. So yeah, we've got how many days we have left now?
We are, and within the hour, it's going to click down to say 5 days to go. That's how much time is left.
Yeah. So we would love to see you jump on. Any of you that are watching, if you have any questions, like we said, reach out to us. We think that this is going to be a really fun story that a lot of people are going to really enjoy. And this is one that you can jump in. You don't, like we were saying earlier, this is a spinoff. You don't necessarily have to have read Kido or Heirs or anything else that we've done beforehand to enjoy this story. This is a one-off. We try to do that as often as we can, even with our ongoing series, just so that somebody doesn't feel overwhelmed with, oh my gosh, I have to read all these issues beforehand. No, just jump on in. If you just want to read Tatsumi, if this speaks to you, then jump on in and give it a try. And if you like what we do and you like, our style, then we have plenty of other offerings as add-ons or anything like that. We're never going to tell you, nope, don't read this as well.
Tatsumi can be your gateway drug into what we do.
Yeah,
Tatsumi
there you
by
go.
itself is completely going to be its own thing, for sure.
Yeah.
Funded.
Say it again.
Correctly.
Say it again.
You guys are funded, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got past minimum funding. Obviously, when it comes to campaigns, that's just a number that's there to get it past that point. Where we want to be is much higher than that. We do have some stretch goals set out there as well. Like I said, we're at 423 from our stretch goal that's at $4,200. Once we get there, we have something super cool that we haven't done before. It's similar to something done before, but it's actually something new that we haven't done that variation of before, that every physical backer is gonna get as soon as we get to that point. We're like 3 pirate hats away from that stretch goal.
Yeah. So we need 3 of you to buy pirate hats, or 1 of you to buy 3 pirate hats, or
yeah, look at that. Whatever kind of math you want to do, she's got it for you right there.
You could just buy each of us on the panel a pirate hat.
Yeah, that too. I wouldn't mind a pirate hat. I'd wear one.
Or you could buy William 5 skull pouches that he can go get Rob Liefeld to sign all 5 of them.
He can have them all. You can have them just all around your belt. Just, I don't know what you'd put in there, but
Poker chips.
That's right.
Poker chips.
Fool's
That's
gold.
Fool's gold.
Socks, anything.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do, you got it.
Socks, t-shirts, other pieces of leather.
Yeah.
Keychains.
That's for you. We've had some people that have come up and they've looked at the pouches because they very much could be dice pouches if you play RPGs or D&D. And we've had a lot of people. We've had people that have bought them specifically for that. I have one that I use for that. But you really could use it as a little purse to put like your phone in if you're going to an event where you don't want to carry all your stuff with you. And then we've had other people that just want them as decorations. So it varies, and we're not going to tell people no. It's, hey, whatever you want to use it for.
That's right. We're not going to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
What's up, Edwin Buzz Acevedo? Glad to see you in the chat.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want with it once you buy it.
That's right.
That's right, Edwin. We only need 2 backers. You could be 50% of the backers that we need to get to our next stretch goal. 50% of the backers could be named Edwin Buzz Acevedo to get to that next stretch goal. It could be you. But the thing is, will it be you? We shall see. It could also be William Pace. Could be William Pace. You never know. Could be the man with the play. We shall have to see.
Yeah.
It looks fantastic.
Well, thank you. And of course, we always appreciate you having us on to be silly and talk about our stuff, our whatever title we have coming out, all of our crazy shenanigans, so to speak. You know,
yeah, I think you guys have reappeared on the podcast more times than anyone else so far.
Really? We'll take that. We'll take that.
Oh, that's a very good distinction. We may brag about that a little bit. Yeah, yeah. Well, we always have, like, when we're doing the rounds and doing the promotion thing, you've always been kind to us and had us on, and we always appreciate that. So thank you for letting us prattle on about
not just that, but there's a bunch of books that take up a good section of a bookcase over here that you guys wrote. So
we always appreciate.
We would love to continue to grow that section. We have no problem with doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the only problem I think anybody has when it comes to crowdfunding comics from the buyer's perspective is that there's so many good projects out there at any given time.
Oh yeah.
Completely agree. Completely agree.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's why. So that's why we know. Yeah, that's why we know we've got to put good products out there, good add-ons, things like that, and make sure that the story and the art is quality, so that way people don't have an easy out when they look at our stuff. We don't want them to go, yeah, I thought about backing that one, but the lettering just doesn't work. Or I thought about that, but it's 20 pages. We want them to really feel like they're getting value for their dollar and their time.
Mm-hmm. You're getting more bang for your buck with 32 pages of story than you will with anything off a rack at your local shop.
That's exactly right. That's how we want you to feel.
And it's a different story. Completely different.
Absolutely. When we were putting it together, I asked Steph, I'm like, what do you want to do with this story? Because we knew where they were going to be. We knew there's going to be pirates. She's like, I just want this to be a swashbuckling, fun story.
I love pirates, and so for me it was a no-brainer. I'm like, let's lean into it. If we're gonna do it, let's do it.
We're like, yeah, why not? I mean, make it our own story. We say it's like Pirates of the Caribbean and One Piece being your favorite martial arts heroine, but that doesn't mean that it's like Pirates of the Caribbean. It doesn't mean it's like One Piece. It's our own thing that have these elements in there, just like we are known to do.
I believe Captain Blood would approve.
I have to go take a look. Let me go take a look.
That's my way of squeezing Errol Flynn into the conversation.
Errol, you're squeezing Errol Flynn in here. Holy mackerel. Going back way before my time.
Mine too. I know it's tough to tell, but yeah, way before my time as well. Well, guys, I want to thank you so much for coming on and telling more about Tatsumi and everything else that's been going on. Congratulations once again to Steph.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And we will see you soon in the color pages of Tatsumi.
Sounds good. Appreciate you having us on here. If you guys want to go check out the campaign, go to tinyurl.com/Tatsumi, TATSUMI for Tatsumi, the Serpent Mistress. If you want to know more about the stuff we do, see the metal music we do, music videos, want to be able to see some of these reviews and articles we talked about that Steph has written for Fangoria, Horror Geek Life, different places like that, you can go to linktree.com/INSYMMETRY CREATIONS. Once again, that's linktree.com/INSYMMETRY CREATIONS. And you can get to all of the stuff we do, our website, our blog, and you can have a good old time. So we hope to see you first at the Tatsumi campaign. We've got currently 6 days. It's about to go to 5 days. We want you to jump on board the Side Stalker ship before it sets sail on the voyage in Ishima.
Stalker ship. The SS Stalker.
There you go.
Guys, go check it out. There's not a tiny link. I've got the long link in the description, but the tiny link is in the comment section of this video and will also be included if you're listening to us. The tiny link will be on every place you can get a podcast, on the Creators Outlet podcast audio version, and we will also be on Rumble and Odyssey as well. Guys, thanks so much for coming on. We'll talk to you soon, and everybody have a great night, and go out there and read some comic books.
Yes.
See ya.